Hello, it's Zeph from Thing here, and today I'm excited to show you our new MCP server. So this is something that we've been using internally for a while now, and it's just really changed the way that we sort of create and manage the Thing agents. You can create agents so quickly using the MCP server now, and also it's really useful for once they're up and running, for improving them, and just managing the conversations and that kind of thing. So it works with any of your existing agent harnesses. So if you're using something like Claude Code or Codex, it works with that. But then also if you're just using the Claude desktop app or ChatGPT, it works with that as well. And it's really simple to set up. We've got pretty good instructions for how to do it everywhere on this page and also on the docs. But I'll just show you now actually how you do it in the Claude desktop app. So if you copy the Thing MCP server URL, you can then come into Claude Desktop, click Customize, Connectors, add a custom connector, put that one in, and I'm just going to call this one Thing. I'm going to call it Prod because we've got our staging server in here as well. And then it checks it here, and then if you click Connect, it will pop up a screen, and then basically you just have to accept that you want to connect it into your Thing account. And there we go. And it's now connected, which is pretty cool. That's obviously the boring part. What can it actually do? Well, it can basically do anything that you can do within the Thing web app. So that includes creating new agents, which is probably one of the most powerful things. So let's just start with that. So let's say I wanted to create a customer support agent for this. This is a local hotel. If I come back to Claude, I've created a new session here. I can say, can you help me create a Thing bot for C-Space? I wouldn't also usually say this, so I'm just going to say, please can you explain what you are doing as we go along. I'm only saying that so that it's actually going to talk about using the Thing MCP. Otherwise, it will just do it behind the scenes. It'll be quite a boring video. But the benefit of using the MCP is that you get all of the power of these coding agents, basically, which it means that, like, so for example, now it's going to go and actually visit that site and understand it, so that it can do a good job of setting the bot up. So now it's using the Thing MCP. It's listing the teams that it's got access to, so that it knows where it needs to create the bot. It's done that now. What else did it do? Discovered pages. So discovering pages means that it's going to be going to crawl this basically. So the MCP server gives it a way of doing that, so it can see what pages need to be added to the as a data source, so that it can answer questions on them. And you can see now it's just asking me what team do we want us to come into. So there we go. Let's just put it in that one. And yeah, the cool thing about creating your agents this way is that because it's using the coding harness, it can sort of self-heal and self-fix. So if it hits an issue or it finds a problem, it can like test the bot itself. It can ask it sample questions, and then it can be like, hey, we need to tweak the prompt so that it doesn't do this, or we need to add in another page from this other section of the website because it couldn't answer that question effectively, which is really cool. So it also takes a lot of those like technical decisions out of building the Thing agents. So like you don't need to worry about trying to figure out what CSS selectors to add when you're setting up a website data source and that sort of thing. So you can see there, for some reason it had issues scraping the page to begin with, but it's just retried it and it's worked again the second time round. It's now created a bot and it's now adding a data source to it. There we go. This was it creating the bot. So it's written the prompt, as you can see here, which is a really nice prompt. really well structured, with sort of guidelines around formatting and what questions to answer. It's chosen the model to use, so it's chosen 4.6 Sonnet, which is a medium priced and medium intelligence model. It's probably pretty good for this kind of thing. And then it's created a web data source, and it has added 77 pages to it. And what else has it done? It's added a first message to the bot as well, some example questions, and yeah, so that's all set up now. And now what it's doing is, so it's waiting for the data source to sync. So obviously that takes a bit of time. It's got to go and scrape the website. And now, yeah, it's just sitting there waiting. So we might need to fast forward a little bit here. It'll probably take a couple of minutes. So I think the sync has finished now, and you can now see that it is starting a chat. So it's going to start testing the bot that's just created. And this is what I was talking about, of it becoming self-healing and self-improving. It's going to send messages. It can come up with some good example messages to send because it's gone and looked at the website and it understands the kind of questions that customers are going to be asking. And then it can just check that the responses are good, and if they're not, it can try and fix them automatically, which is really cool. So what's it sent here? Are dogs allowed in C space? Yep. And then it's got its response. It's sending a few different ones. But so obviously this is like the creation. So once you've created it, you can then also come back and use the same MCP to sort of update it and improve it. So after you've deployed your bot for a couple of weeks, you're probably going to have quite a few conversations in there. And you might have noticed ways that it could be improved, or things that it's doing that you're not happy with. You can just come in here, talk to Claude or whatever you're using and say, can you try and help me fix these issues? And it's going to be able to help you achieve that, hopefully, collaboratively. So yeah, it's being pretty thorough here, sending lots of messages. We should see what it says in a second. Hopefully it's happy with the result. Oh, hey. So it's pretty happy with that. It's linked to the bot now, so let's go and open it. And then, yeah, if we just go to general settings, you can see what it's set up here. So the first message, the example questions, the prompt. We go have a look at the data source. There we go, we've got a web data source with all of these pages automatically added and synchronized, which is really cool. One other thing that you can do is configure power-ups as well. So especially the one that's really, really powerful to configure is the API power-up. So again, if you're not a coder, the API power-up might be a bit daunting to you, but not if you have your agent set it up for you. So I've just got this test endpoint here, and I could say something like, could you integrate our, what should we say? Inquiry form endpoint. Let's just call it an inquiry form endpoint. It just takes a email and message in the request body. Usually what you could do as well, you could obviously just point this at API docs or something, but this is a fake endpoint just to demonstrate this. So what this should do is hopefully, set up the use API power up, and it will configure it all for you. So set it all up. You won't have to worry about the actual sort of request body or any of that technical stuff again. The MCP can just do it for you, and then we can test it. So yeah, it just makes it a lot simpler to create these agents. It can create any other power up as well. It can create turn on Google search, browse web page, any of those ones can all be configured. And then we should see in a second that we can test this. So it's created the power up, and now it's doing update bot as well. I reckon it's probably updating the prompt. Aligning the system prompt with a new inquiry power up. Shall I run a live end-to-end test? Yep, go on then. Let's do it. So it's going to test it itself now. Sending some messages. It'll be interesting to see if anything appears in here. So this is just a tool we have for testing API requests. So, oh, there you go. You can now see that the agent has called this API with that information here. So an email and this test inquiry. So that's used that power up now. And like, if we were to test this ourselves, there you go. Look, there's the power up. It's added. You can see that it's set all of these arguments and everything, all of the technical stuff that might be scary. And then we could try it ourselves. So if we come in here and we say, hi, I would like to send an inquiry about group bookings or something. I don't know. That should be enough to trigger it, hopefully. So it's asked my email address in the message. I can't spell today. I'd like to book for 100 people. Is that possible? And then we should see it would use that new power up. Yep, send it please. Send inquiry. And then look, we've got another one in here now. So obviously, you know, that could be integrated into any kind of API that you've got. And that's all just been set up by the MCP server. So it's super powerful. So that's kind of creating your agents, and also updating them would work in the same way. But then sort of managing them once they're live as well. So it can read all their conversations. So you can say something like, can you summarize all the C space bot conversations from today? And it will go off and do that. And this is powerful because you could get it to look at a week's worth of conversations and then ask it to say, is there any areas that we could improve the bot's responses? Are there questions that it constantly couldn't answer where we need to update our data sources and things like that? So again, this can be a driver of improvements to your agent. And then also you can hook this in with the functionality of your agent harness. So, you know, within Claude, I could get it to set up a scheduled task that sends me a summary into Slack every Monday of all of the past conversations for that week and like that kind of thing. So it's super, super powerful. Here we go. So it's the summary of everything. I mean, we've only just made this assistant. Obviously, for a real one that has live queries coming in, this is going to be a lot more interesting. But that should give you a gist. So yeah, that's kind of it. We're excited to hear your feedback on it. Let us know if it's useful. Let us know if there's anything else that you'd like to add to it, or if it should work in a slightly different way. But it's super powerful and we're excited to see what you do with it. Thank you. Bye.